What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with another video running late today. How y'all doing? We left off with Endeavor hooping and off one pulling out the rewind, looking like Deku was spotting something, whether it's danger, whether it's an ally. We may or may not see today. Let me not get ahead of myself. Uh, Let me make sure I get all this stuff posted where it needs to be. But yeah, how y'all been doing? It's been a week, busy week. I have not done everything that I intended to this week, but I did do some of what I wanted to. So, hey, all right, there we go. Jalen Baxley, Austin Morgan, and Cameron Bailey pulling up. All right, there's Jason Thomas. Yep. I was just running late. That's all. Hey, there's Tiger Blaster. Anytime, if there was ever a straight up cancel stream, I would make sure to put it in the community tab at least. I wouldn't just leave you guys completely hanging like that. So I know I'm bad at that communicating part to you guys, but hey, yep. I actually haven't watched the PV yet. Everybody was just so excited. I sent it to myself and was like, I'll watch that later. Didn't necessarily get around to it, but hey. All right. Let's get that in there. Let's go. See, this looks ridiculous on camera, but just what I do for love. All right. Who's my favorite character from MASH? Faithful big brother. That's all he can ask for. Yep. All right. Live reaction for Bleach? Maybe. MK the baby is finally here. Man, Mob Psycho coming back. MHA coming back. Bleach coming all the way back. All right, look. October is an actual great time. It's expected to be just a great time to be an anime fan. If you enjoy any of the series, or even if you're just willing to watch. If you're a clout merchant, this is going to be a great time too. Clout merchants are going to go crazy with what it looks like, everything that's coming out. Man, Mom, I'm really looking forward to watching season 3 of Mob. All right. Since I started late today, should I start the chapter early? Watkins, you know I'm gonna watch Bleach. Yo, what up, East? Hey, look, man, I don't fall asleep till like 6 a.m. So it's not even a full 5 hours later. Don't do me like that, East. Don't do me like that. All right, I'm gonna start the chapter. I'm gonna start the chapter because East mad at. Let me hop in here real quick. All right, ooh. All right. Chapter title, opening page. You see slam, smoke, debris, all the damage going. Floorboard panels flying everywhere. Chapter number 358. The guy who's made some progress. And we cut to Shigaraki. So all you can do is flee and fingers everywhere. Amajiki getting slapped. Sun Eater. Let's see. Damn. Let's see. How bad did he get hit? Okay, it's looking like it's not too bad. Just got flicked. Sun Eater. Yep. Okay. Actually, just straight up destroying parts of the finger. Yep. I was hoping that's what she would do. Like, that was the thing that I was looking at, like Bakugou and Neji right here. It's like in the best position because they have the ability to straight up just destroy, blast, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it, any body parts coming their way. And they've already decided that killing Shigaraki is an acceptable decision. So they can just blast away. Yep. See, keep on your toes. We have to keep moving. Genius managing to, actually have some presence, trying to hold the battlefield together. Lest he swallow us up. This whole this sequence is kind of insane, if we're being honest, because like you've got Genius hopping between threads. Is he grabbing Bakugou? Yep, grabbing Bakugou to help out. You got Mirko having to hop on things. It looks like no, that's the prosthetic. It's fine. We're good. It's just a little off. Continue to evade and target his core. The surging hands are surely a massive threat, but in exchange, he's forsaken that mobility reminiscent of All Might's. Hulk thread throttle. And we see Ed Shot just kind of ripping through, bouncing through, just boom, 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 boom. Popping out. He asserts that this is not the doing of his quirks, but rather simple growth, a dubious claim. The more the awful one quirk takes root in me, the more my body adapts to the legion of quirks stockpiled along with various environmental factors. My body is searching, groping around for its ideal form. Understand? Shinya Kamehara. With this body and this power, all will come to rest in the palm of my hand, giving rise to a world of my own, or one beyond me entirely. Appearances, form, function, for a world split beyond any hope of a status quo. All that awaits is schism and destruction. These massive disparities to give rise to incomprehension, and that lack of understanding in turn leads to dread and rejection. Of course, layering the panel about misunderstanding leading to dread and rejection, talking over Bakugou. We know, do I have to say it out loud? Come on. Deku stuff there. I said it. Now, that's the present state of the world, no. But under my rule, all will be united as the exploited class. All will be equal. Don't heroes yearn for world peace? Is it that hard to imagine actually taking a step toward that? All right, Bakugou's still hopping through. Look, I don't know if that's Shigaraki or All for One's running on right now. All this exercise helped me stock them up more than enough time to whip out what the support course made me. But either way, I'm about to hurl from hearing it. Ever since Camino, nothing but yap. Suppressive heavy mobility unit, strafe Panzer. Horikoshi letting us know that he did, in fact, spoil Bakugou's final costume in a color page, and is still raw. Like, man. And we now know why they didn't have enough condenium to make Deku's braces, because they used it all on Bakugou's fucking cannons. I got to destroy his real body. And we just see him blowing away, all of us together. What, as a team? Oh, well, talking like that, it might be time to get put in the pack. Ain't got time to be sticking to character tropes right now, talking about some, what, like a team? Yeah, you better do it like a team. Shoot. Gonna end up in the dirt, playing around, talking about some old like a team. What we talking about here? If Endeavor can recognize that teamwork making the dream work to stop him from dying, then you better recognize that too. While Monoma and Sensei have still got his quirk locked down with Erasure, while Kaminari's team is still keeping this arena powered up, while Yaoyorozu and them are still replacing the ground to stand on. Let's see, and then, yep, sure enough, we get the flashback, and that lack of understanding in turn leads to dread and rejection. You want to talk about some big disparity, lack of understanding in Dread? Just firing off. I guess what I've what? I guess what? I've long since taken all that crap to heart. All of us together, accidentally, Bakugou, and I've seen a real step towards progress with all that. It might take time, but some people I know are trying to push forward. Anyway, thanks anyway, but you can shove your sermon, you nut sack-faced handyman. Great explosion, murder got dynamite. All I want to know is how much punch my new cluster moves are packing. Taking on One for All is just another box to tick on the path to Shigaraki and All for One. And then we get the glorious howitzer impact cluster. And the explosion we're about to get that's at this close range to Shigaraki. I'm sick. And you know what? 13 pages. I'm guessing we're gonna be on break next week. 13 pages sounds like break next week. Oh, let me get the bishops in here. Man, Bakugou's shoulder is more than calling it a lighter is an understatement. That's an understatement, my fellows. Man, let me get Easton here so you can yell at me. Let me get Easton here so you can yell at everybody. Y'all know East gonna have something to say about us going on break. Because he done told y'all. I'm gonna warn y'all right now, because East, I gotta understand something. East is not at all a patient man. And East is, his patience has been worn thin by those that do not pay attention. He told y'all that Hori was gonna be on break because Gege went on break. So, hey. Man. Every single thing on Bakugou's shoulder is a straight up cannon. Or at the very least, a sweat dispenser. Oh, that small thing, yeah. Because, well, yeah, it's either a lighter or it actually might spray more sweat and get it lit at the same time because it's connected to a shoulder brace and it looks like it actually has like a bit of a pump to it. So we'll see.
Next chapter coming in 15 days. Next chapter coming in 15 days. Now, I told y'all time again, I said, man, listen, that nigga going on break. Gay went on break. He gonna go on break right after him because they like playing footsies and they best friends. Niggas like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. This and another. And I told you niggas time and time again, for 2 weeks straight, this was gonna happen. Lo and behold, now we gotta wait 2 weeks for the next chapter. He's thinking his little patterns don't be fooling me no more, man. I'm over that shit. It don't be fooling me no more. I'm not amused by these games. He lies don't fool me no more. His facade don't fool me no more. Speaking of lies, this nigga decided to completely detour from where he was at last week. Let's talk about something. Oh, it's going to end in 1 year. Open up a can of worms. That's bare minimum 10 chapters worth of extra content that didn't need to be there whatsoever. And then going to talk about some, yeah, it's ending this year. Then decide to cut away from that shit and extend it even further. I told y'all a long time ago that whole year shit, it's a fucking joke. All nigga do is run jokes. Y'all like to stream out for real. Speaking of jokes, he like playing games with Shigaraki.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be real with you. This is probably something that a lot of people don't want to hear. But in this Shigaraki battle, Mirko has earned a death already.
She did. She earned a raw rip.
Like she has earned dying in this battle just because of how not serious enough she's taking it. All right, we can talk about the editor that got packed up.
Yeah, the nigga gone. Good riddance.
So
Don't miss him.
personally, I don't have this massive issue with the last year and a half of MHA like a lot of people do. But I will say that anything that has been worked on with that dude as the editor, I will say that it has, whatever good parts it's had, has probably been in spite of this dude.
I don't think he was in there cooking for real.
Like, dog was not cooking. Not even a little.
I don't think he had the mindset that Hori had. Like, I really don't think they was on the same page.
It was literally a cloud chaser versus the hard worker. Tortoise in the hair type beat. Dead ass. How come nothing else this nigga worked on made it? How come nothing this nigga worked on got axed? How you get Kishimo axed, bro? Come on now.
That's really a fact though. Like a lot of things he worked on definitely got axed. and then they put him on MHA like, all right, this is hot right now. Mm-hmm. Should be Gucci. And it wasn't.
They were like, hey, maybe there were some unlucky people you worked with. Let's put you with somebody that's actually good.
Yeah. All right, Cameron Bay. This is how editors work, basically, essentially. You get your project, you write it up, sketch it up. Your editor is supposed to approve most of this stuff. They can they basically can make or break what you go and what you put in there. But the more clout you got, the more you can get away with because they can't check you like that. So, but if you're a rookie in the game, your editor makes or break your shit. So your editor say, that's a no-go. You can't put that in there. You can't put that in there because your editor says so. It's almost low-key like your supervisor in a sense. Like you the artist, but it's like your manager says you got to do this and you got to do that. You kind of got to do this and you got to do that.
Yeah.
And Shonen Jump, I guess, would be the record label essentially, but your manager be like, you got to wear this, you got to wear that. I want you to go here. I want to release this track, which is more so of me, and it's not just, it's not just a quick bop. It's not just a single. I want to put some more of myself out there. But the editor said, nah. We're going to keep the singles pumping. We don't need no substance. We need what sells, not what's that. That's what editors basically do. They're like the managers in the type of sense. But Horikoshi is a veteran now, so they can't really, you going to do what we tell you to do. So it's kind of a clash ahead. So it's like, you got to compromise where you can. Because he already said before, like, he already said in an interview before, like when he was giving advice to the manga in that one book, he was like, yo, fight your editors tooth and nail on your ideas, don't cave in. But I know to a certain extent, if we're butting heads all day, I have to come to a compromise and agreement because Jump will get in there and be like, all right, listen, just work with him here. You guys make a compromise, whatever, trying to dispute. Was like, but you could tell it was a clash of ideals and butting heads.
Bro, 5 volumes, bro. He was only the editor for 5 volumes. That's a sign. Bro. Compared to the other ones, who was on for much longer.
Just look at, like, I liked Hellward and Higuma, and now I feel like any issue that it had, like as far as like with the audience, I'm like, that explains it. Samurai 8, I was like, oh, it's starting to get good, and that was around the time it got canceled, and I wouldn't be surprised if like he was about to like swap off. Also, I want everybody to know that Watkins hadn't been on in a while, but this past week, I told him that I was gonna bust his ass in Mega Man Battle Network when it drops, and all of a sudden he's back.
you got a year for that. Look, you got a year to prepare. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, by the way, also, Tyler Hawk just said the Red Hood's manga said she couldn't even write what she wanted to with that editor on board.
That editor saw that Red Hood went viral off an ass shot and was like, we got to do that. Mm-hmm. So whatever you want.
Yeah. Like I said, cloud chasing ass nigga. We don't need him. We good now. I mean, still don't.
Niggas should start his own manga if you want that much clout.
Oh God, bro. If you can't draw, just write, nigga. They got manga artists to back you up. That's what call it different act age, but sorry, Some of us know what happened with that shit. Bitch ass nigga. Damn. Ruin my soul, punk ass nigga.
Yo, East. I just went over the officials a little bit. They took out a little bit of the cringe.
Yeah, as far as Nutsack Face talking, right?
Yeah. Nah, there was some cringe in the skins. I ain't gonna lie.
It honestly made my skin crawl to have the words that was coming out of Shigaraki's mouth coming out of his mouth because of All For One. Like, that's not how Shigaraki rolled. Like, that ass.
Yeah.
Like, but it's coming out of his mouth, and it's just like, it's not, but that's not you.
Also,
I gotta ask, Aniki, how do you feel about Bakugou's whole thing? I wasn't here for that portion.
Him getting the Ponzer, him being like, I straight up said what I said when I like set out to do what I set out to do. I think to a certain degree, this also kind of shows that he's partially like, let me not leave all this on Deku's shoulders. But like, that's the thing that's always been true about him that made him similar to Endeavor. Like, unlike everybody else, or like a lot of people who are like, Deku's our ace, Bakugou's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill that nigga. So
I'm not gonna
if you get here.
Like, yeah, if you come and get something, you come and get something. But like, that's all it is to it. So are we gonna talk about the scale of it? Honestly, I gotta see the full. I don't think this is his ultimate make or break. Like, I think it might be ultimate, but I think like he gonna have something even crazier than this because I would have to see the full impact. Because like Shoto's A gear, you know, his shit, Phosphorus A gear shit, that shit blew me out the park.
Phosphor is something different.
Like you said, like a tarnished shit. That's God mode. He went like,
he basically used God mode on Dobby. If you really think about it,
yeah, like,
I'm gonna be real with you. Like this chapter and like the sequence, what I'm looking forward to most is seeing it like animated. And I feel like, excuse me, when Hori drew this, he was focusing more on like the potential for when it gets animated. Because you have the utility unit firing off left and right, while Bakugou has actually got his hands like under his butt, like pushing himself forward for the speed, like usual. So it's like that thing is just firing off. Man, finally, just what I like about this is that if you think back to like a lot of the Avenger stuff or like art, you had sometimes like Bakugou ends up sometimes being like painted like similar to Iron Man, so you kind of get him going full support course. And that's also one of the things that I've liked about him too, is that Bakugou's power up has partially been about his skill, but to reflect his mind, it's also tied to the gear he makes. So he's always creating something. Like if you think back to World Heroes mission, his fight with the Serpent Twins, you know, that came down to him utilizing his entire full range of like gadgets and firepower.
Yo, I love how in the movies it's always been how it's an impact. That's his final attack. But in the manga, he never really used it like that. But now Hori's like, nah, that is his ultimate attack. How it's an impact.
Yeah, so I'm just looking forward to like when like next chapter I had to see it like, you know, fully like expanded upon. Because like you know, Shoto's A gear, I seen like the freaking first blast of it.
Cluster, how it's an impact should be crazy. That should be crazy. Like compared to the other clusters we've seen, that with how it's an impact should be nutty.
Yeah, like next chapter I should see the full impact of like it going around double. It's worth a double spread type, like going around the entire thing, like really making a difference, and then hit blast and Shiggy.
I've been waiting for him to just straight up be like, so you made yourself a bigger target. And that's basically what this chapter was from Bakugou, like a hard punish for Shigaraki being like, I will just expand myself indefinitely. And unlike previous interactions, like back in the war arc, see, one of the things that I think that Melvin is doing here that I think even happened in the fight with all Endeavor too, is that they're not fully understanding that this is like we said, this is the hero side, Superboy dark side, like Superman dark side moment. All of them are like, well, we can throw whatever we want to throw at the villains because they can take it or die, and both are acceptable results. Like, and so we're here now, and Bakugou's like, I'm not opening with my human safe AP machine gun. I'm just blowing you to bits.
They already see what they've what they've realized is that everybody else has realized is that this nigga Shigaraki gotta die. I know Deku gonna go in there and try to talk to this nigga or whatever, but he not going there with the right mindset. All right, like everybody else is like, all right, nigga. It's like if I go box with Hitler and gotta kill that nigga Hitler, and I see inside his mind, I see a child crying. I'm like, okay, you still gotta die, nigga. Till the hunt, you still gotta die, nigga. Like, fuck all that saving that child shit, nigga. You gotta die first. I said child free afterwards. Fuck you talk about, bro.
Again, death can be a form of salvation.
That's something.
It's almost like that wasn't a throwaway line.
Oh God, I want to see what a certain front line has to say about that topic, because I know some people are like, "Oh, Deku not gonna kill Sugar." This and another. It's not about being raw. It's about using your fucking head. He has constant regeneration. You can't wear that out at this point no more. That's cheap bullshit. Can't wear that out no more. He's gonna keep regenerating. He's not gonna get tired. You're gonna get tired, Deku. It's just like he's not gonna quit. You can talk to Tenko you like, but Tenko was in Investor's World and it's already like, all right, it's cool, mom. You know, ain't no big deal. His dad came up, he did the same shit he did before. It's just like, he still got that dog in him no matter what, bro. That's not going to change. Like, even if you saw that boy crying, you just jump into a situation that you don't fully understand the context of. It's like, all right, you see it. Y'all, it's just like in the real world. If I don't know about daytime, I don't think I would ignore Child Shigaraki. If it was full of street, I might not have ignored him. In the middle of the night, that little motherfucker come up to me. Nah, dog, I'm running the opposite way. Dude. You got me fucked up. But it's just like you jumping in.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. The fact that he had blood on him was kind of tack. Like I ain't gonna sit here and question a child with blood on his hands. I'm gonna just be like, listen, man, I ain't got nothing to do with me.
Blah. But there's a difference though.
You're the scum of hero society, Target.
There's a difference.
I am part of the problem.
There's a difference though. Tarnish from the same place from Cassie from. The niggas in New York, they don't care about nobody.
Exactly.
They don't care about nobody else. They walk past and don't look at shit. I'm like, they ain't none of my business. New York is
they have to tell us if you see something, say something. That's a common phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they got it written all over New York. Yeah, we wouldn't tell them niggas, but that's little. We gonna talk about Gasly and a bunch of other things about that later on. Because this chapter doesn't have that much, and it's just a real quick. Honestly, the only reason I let this slide because he cut away is because me and Tarnish, I've already talked about this, and I'm pretty sure everybody's in agreement. Regardless, we need to feel absolute tension at this battlefield in order for Deku coming here to mean something. I need to feel like you even got killed nobody yet. Clap somebody, make somebody get really fucked up, like crushed, main, like. Let me know, incapacitated. Let me know, okay, now I see why Deku actually has to be here. Like, oh, Deku's the only one that can even remotely hang for a minute with this nigga. And it's just like, that's what I need to truly like feel like, okay, now I see. Now it's like, okay, you cut away just to set up the threat that like if Deku gets stalled for something, it creates more tension and suspense. Like, okay, Deku needs to get here. This and like Matrix on Neo type shit. Like, yo, this nigga need to get here now. Where you at, bro?
I'm not scared of them like being trapped with this nigga just destroying all these hands and he's just going on monologues. He's not hurting nobody. Like I'm not feeling no tension right now.
And then we still got the whole Melvin bullshit, which I'm still getting my skin crawl. Can't wait to get this shit over with. It's just like, and he keep playing around a pussyfoot with Shigaraki. So it's just like, I gotta wait until you show me that you done playing around. Because right now you've been holding back. I understand reasons why. Just because I understand the reason for something don't mean I gotta agree with it. Like, or I gotta feel comfortable with it. I understand it though. But nigga, I'm tired of that shit. My patience has ran out already. So I'm just like, all right, nigga. I'll wake up, get up and shake my ass when you start getting serious. When you like that video game chair meme, like when it's like when you start losing and then niggas get up. When he gets up, puts his back into it, and put his hand to the paper with Shigaraki, and ain't no more nerf bullshit, then I'll get up. Then I'll be like, all right, he back with it. No more pussyfooting around. But for now, I'm not feeling the tension. This is why I'm okay with him cutting away. I'm like, all right, if you're gonna build up the tension, there's Deku having to get held back over something. And then it's like, all right, off one's over here too. Because Melo brought up a good point. What if it's like they say off prime off one's back, and then you get held, you just got finished getting held up stall. So what you gonna do? Save everybody at UA, or you gonna go fight prime off one because he just washed everybody and just used all their energy to fight him. And you do that, and then I understand that Shigaraki is actually in threat. People are actually in threat of dying in Shigaraki. Then I'll be like, okay, now I'm really feeling the tension here. Now I'm feeling like stakes are all time high. My heart racing. Because preferably, I would just rather went to one of the battlefields that had no narrative weight and that anybody can die. Ayama can die and then just impact like your heart in the story, but not overall narrative. Now Spinner and them win, that affects the entire game. They win with Makia, Jakku with Gas Mask God in them, affects the entire game. You see what I'm saying? Those battlefields affect the entire game. Sero's field doesn't affect the entire game. With fucking Ayoma field with Kunita and them don't affect the entire game. Those are the fights I'm most looking forward to because niggas can go, niggas can get the chop. With the off one fight, it's like, all right, you got characters that need to link up with others still or do things outside of this, so they can't really die. So.
Violated, bro. The more I think about it, Horikoshi violated. How you end last chapter like that, bro? And then we come here, bro. He violated.
He gonna have to turn the fuck up.
He's kind of doing the same thing that happened with Endeavor, though. Like, you saw Endeavor put on kind of a clinic, and then it was like, so what's up? I got rewind. And here, and the thing is that this chapter actually shows you that there's only two people who really, there's only like 2 or 3 people who are really like doing well here, and then
Sunny
the rest,
Miracle's hanging on the buyback. Genus is literally saving Bakugou's ass. You can literally see it in the panel.
Right.
Genus is
like,
really, yeah.
Genus is doing okay. Edshot is doing okay. But Edshot is exchanging not really taking any damage for his attacks being like whatever. Like very shrug-offable. Nijire is actually hanging in there with her blast and, you know, actually just straight up blowing through stuff. And Bakugou needed a little help, but he is like, Mirko and Sun Eater, and even to a certain degree, like Edshot, kind of feel like they're on a timer.
Nezure's on a timer too. Her quirk literally takes her life.
Yeah.
The upside to that is that like it says it takes like life energy, and I'm guessing that's basically the same as saying she shoots Ki Blast.
Yeah, so she'll get tired.
She'll get tired, but she fought a dude that could drain physical energy from like 20 feet away for a while and was still blasting him. So if she ain't got to worry about Sun Eater, she might be in a better position, honestly.
I'm pretty sure Sun Eater got something to fly. It'd be stupid for him not to have something where he can fly.
The way he just got smacked like that, it's really like, why are you here? And that's what everybody was saying. Like, bro, what are you doing here? And then he was the first nigga to get clapped.
Mm-hmm. But I need him really clapped though. I don't need to like smacked off and then oh shit, he get back up.
They had to make sure they said that the hands aren't as strong as his all might level body. Because I'm like, all right, because this makes no sense if they are as strong as him. Because these niggas are just eating that.
No, Nezure doesn't feel nauseous. She just gets tired and drained. Ojiko, the one who gets tired, she overuses her power. I mean, like he get nauseous, she overuses her power. Nezure just gets drained because that's vitality, your life force, etc.
Like stamina, basically. She just running out of stamina.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Tyler. See, Tyler, this is the thing about this battlefield. I'm still curious about who gets the first W for villains. Like clean W. Not all right, not Dobby come back, not off one loss, but he got to come back in the end. I mean, clean, they sweep through. So is it going to be, I feel like it's going to be Spinner or Makia. Or Spinner or Gas Mask God.
If Spinner is the first one to get a dub, that would just be
solid. Like I feel like Spinner got it because they're not ready at Central Hospital.
I tried to tell folks, they talking about some that they got defenses. This that nigga, he got a whole mob army.
But I don't care what technology Hori want to pull out of his ass for that battlefield. There's too many mutants there. Spinner got that giant quirk with that sword.
Spinner's all hopped up on Compound V right now.
Oh God!
Oh my goodness!
Oh God! It's just like
Shoji not holding it down like that. You know, You know what Shoji? You know what Shoji could do? Shoji could chase them. Like when they open up Kurogiri's portal, he jump in that shit, follow him around, maybe.
You know what
Shoji-
Shoji can do? Shoot his arms out fast enough that he grabs the nigga and pulls them back out the portal.
No, Shoji gonna be that nigga that he always been. A nigga to hold it down. Shoji ain't never once fumbled the bag. There's everybody else around her. Which is why in the third match, niggas trying to blame Shoji. That shit pissed me off. That's like, oh man, Shoji fault. He the one the reason they lost. And this nigga, he the only nigga that did he was supposed to. Everybody else fumbled the bag.
He the reason that they even got the draw, to be honest.
It's like, nigga, he was holding it down. He was like, I got my shit. Everybody else were there fumbling the bags and shit. He the only nigga like, all right. Then they're like, it's Shoji's fault. How the fuck was he supposed to fly? The fuck? It's gonna be like, all right, bro, I changed all your wheels in like 0.5 seconds and kept you ahead of everybody, but you spun out the car. But it's your fault that I spun out the car. Like, nigga, you don't know how to drive. I put on your tires. I did my job.
Also, I want to point out that like Gina's reaction to what Bakugou was doing.
Death flag.
Because I'm like,
He like Bakugou, great explosion, murder god, dynamite.
What are you?
That was,
speak,
that was a good scene. That was a good scene. I ain't gonna lie, because he was kind of sleeping on his name at first.
Yeah. What is he? Speedwagon?
I don't know if I necessarily want to say it's like a death flag, but it definitely felt like Genus was like, wait, this boy moving on a level I'm not. Like, because
Nah, definitely.
Because that's what happened during the war arc too. It's like it was real subtle. But if you go back and you reread the part where Shigaraki thought he was going to get on Deku and like Bakugou was like, nope, that nigga was bait. Like the explosion he shoots out of his gauntlet has like manual and like Rocklock looking like, wait, what? Did he just? And if remember, the thing did a fighting game move and ground bounce Shigaraki. Like, come on, he ground bounced too. So it's like.
Yeah, and we have been saying that Genus, he ain't been in the game like that. He the nigga that's coming on the team trying to save it right now. So he don't really know what niggas is working with.
Right.
Yeah.
He came after like Bakugou did all that. After Bakugou saved Deku from getting killed and all that other stuff. So he didn't see Bakugou put on that clinic. And it's not like he was hanging out with him in this past month as he was, developing the Ponzarin thing. Which is what I think part of what that came down to was like Genus is like, hold up, what is he doing?
So,
every time we talk about Genus in detail, I really always forget that like that nigga just came back for real.
he been going for a minute, bro. He don't really know shit. So poison tree. Momo is fine where she at, but she should be calling more shots. But Kaminari definitely need to do something of a little bit more substance. Because it's okay with certain characters doing a little bit of support or like not having like head-to-head clashes. But Kaminari is one of the people that not only is his lightning ability that has been up to par to other people we've seen. I need to see like a full extent like of him really being like, all right, I'm a lightning user. Like, no, this is my culmination. This is look what I can really do instead of a battery, which is just cool for support. But like you could have gave that to some like other class B kids. She should really get like a moment like he did in last war.
Honestly, Kaminari should have been fighting Gas Mask, like, cause people sleep on Midnight.
Nah, that's Mina's fight. That's Mina fight.
They sleep on that scene of Kaminari and Midnight in the war, though. He was the last nigga who really seen her for real.
Yeah, he really
and she got clapped.
Also, real quick, Mr. Andrew coming through with the super chat said, I joked around about this before, but Shoji's going to become convince mutants to be good by saying, I am ugly and I am proud, as he reveals his mouth.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Yo, if Shoji pull a Gojo, and it's like, yo, he folded 100 mutants in 1 second, he a goat. It's not going to be 1 second, obviously, but if he folds a whole lot of mutants by himself, he a goat.
Shoji gonna have. You don't need an arc when he do that, boy. He's like, hey man, this Shoji season. This is Shoji chapter. You feel me?
Multi Blow could take out a few niggas, to be honest.
Bro, Aqua Blow is different.
Blow is really that because he's already mad strong.
Like
so to make multiple hands,
he could really be like walking around the field throwing niggas by their skull if he wanted to, bro. Yeah, that's little ability should have been with Shigaraki. We don't know where the fuck that nigga at, but I'm just gonna say it's a reason. I don't know what the fuck the reason is, but He's somewhere gonna make a difference. The present Mike, the fight spinner. No, I bet you they got somebody else to counter present Mike. Bet money. They got something for his ass. We don't know who the fuck out there with spinner. We don't know what any of those damn PLF niggas can do and other random niggas can do and other convicts can do, mutant convicts. So, like I said, you don't know. Them niggas not in the best. So like I said, Horikoshi can pull out any quirk to combat any quirk he wants to with all these new niggas. You can't say a damn thing.
Yeah, he just did that with All for One. We just saw that for the past 3 chapters. He pulls out a quirk whenever, because we don't know what kind of quirks he really has.
Exactly.
So he can really just use any ability at any time.
Hate to
and it makes sense.
And Tanisha, I overslept too, so it's fine. Actually, I underslept, but I slept late getting that undersleep.
But
I'm serious. I didn't fall asleep till like 6.
I swear Ken knows that. Much motherfucking at the Jakku ruins with my kid. Or am I bugging? I swear I see him there. Let me recheck real quick.
Yeah. You said you seen who over there?
I swear I see Kendo at the Jakku ruins.
Oh, Kendo, I don't know.
Let me double check.
I don't be checking for Class B kids like that.
Sick.
That's y'all bag. That's not my bag.
Sick. Man said side characters. Who needs that?
Nah. We don't know where Kendo's at. She probably with goddamn what's you call this? Probably with Sarah on them then. She's somewhere. I don't know. I'm worried about the main fights though.
Baka Anaki.
I'm really trying to figure out how Monoma going to escape Shiggy battlefield without dying.
I mean, Aizawa putting himself on the chopping block. He gonna let that boy die.
Yeah, no, Aizawa would get stabbed, would get murked himself before he let that happen.
What's gonna happen when he died?
I mean, they're gonna use that time like, all right, it's just time to warp everybody the fuck out of here, because
Yo, if they say that, like, because Monoma said his limit is like 10 minutes. If he still has warp gate and it hasn't been 10 minutes, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's actually some showcase of power.
for real.
That would mean Davi and Shoto boxed it out for like 2-3 minutes. And then we went to all 4 field.
I mean,
Oh
no.
That's not that crazy to think about because, like, Davi was like, damn, they really got us. They teleported me over here. Well, time to cook everything. Like, he was like, well, I guess it's time for one-time destruction and death. Here's lots of fire.
What's up, Spectral?
Yo, this might be a safe place to have this conversation because Sayus isn't here, but yeah, I think Phosphor is extinguishing Endeavor's flames.
Yeah.
Aegir, Bob. Aegir, I can see. Because it's crazy, because this is the thing that also hit my head, too. I was like, after what Endeavor did, I was like, nah, I still don't see Shoto banging with this nigga properly at the same time. But it's like Phosphorus is a good counter to that shit, because it's just
so,
like, all right.
The thing with Glacial Aegir is that it remember how Bakugou was like, oh yeah, I realized Endeavor was ripping off my move. That's kind of what Glacial Aegir does too, because it in the sense that it becomes like this giant AoE blast of fire. It just happens to be cold because it's the same big ass, let me just throw a bunch of ice at you that he used to do with the solid ice, but now it's a cold fire.
With a cold fire at you, nigga.
So like just throw in a fucking city block of cold flame at it never might actually do the trick. Like
at the same time, though, Endeavor is not Dabi, and like getting cooled down actually helps Endeavor sometimes. Like in the war, he got cooled down. Like he might, I don't know, he might be stuck after that Aegir. He might be stuck for a little bit. It's definitely good. Look, Cold Flames, Blade, whatever that move is called, that's putting out his flames for sure. Whatever he's doing at that moment is getting put out. But Shoto can't even hold it, so Endeavor would definitely outlast him.
oh yeah.
because yeah, looking back at that, I just finished rereading it. I just reread the war from start to finish. They really had a lot of setup for what they were going to do, like as far as splitting everybody up, like, and they was like they were really talking about this shit too. They was like, all right, we're gonna split everybody up, do what we need to do, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of interesting.
And Spectral, I'm glad that you got here. But two, I have not watched Ocean's video, but I'm sure it was very critical of the last year of MHA. Since
I was thinking of watching it last night.
Yeah.
Because I was high and I was like, I need something to watch, but I'm like, I don't want to blow my high right now, so I just didn't watch it.
Yeah. Y'all got
I stared at it and I was like, oh, do I want to go down this rabbit hole?
I'm pretty sure it's about the Deku Black art though.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all got that.
Because it can't be about the first war, because that's like peak fiction.
I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm glad that if that bummed you down a little bit, that this is helping you out.
That first that Chibi video that everybody was talking about at that time, I didn't even watch that. I was going to, and then I woke up and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I watched his apology though, because I just wanted to see him talk about the guys. He was wilding though, because he said that Endeavor been getting more screen time than Deku. I'm like,
that I couldn't even sit through a whole video because he was bullshitting.
I'm like, that's legitimate cap. Like, I understand how you can feel that way, but Deku definitely has more screen time than Endeavor.
Nigga, he just had a whole fucking 20 chapter arc, and then he was in that chapters after the arc. How the fuck did Endeavor got more screen time than him? Nigga, what?
This is kind of what I think a lot of people mean when we say like MHA can't win, because like you would think you would be like, all right, cool. We have these side characters that are actually really well fleshed out and got moved into like more main cast territory. Dope. People are getting actually fulfilling full running plots throughout the series. Like, I love Shikamaru. Shikamaru's arc is one of the best parts of like Shippuden for me. But I'm also fully aware that like Shikamaru just kind of like fades away out of the story for a good chunk of it for a while and then comes back. And we get to consistently have like a lot of these characters stay in here. So I don't know, like it's kind of odd to be mad at the idea of Endeavor getting such a good story.
Nah, the final act cemented Deku as the main character again. Like, I feel like that was the whole. I feel like Horikoshi knew he really wasn't paying Deku much attention.
That was kind of the whole point of Deku Black Arc, was to bring him back into the spotlight.
There wasn't one chapter where he wasn't the primary focus, other than when he was fighting a Gaunt and she had to get her backstory. It was straight Deku the whole time. Focus on Deku, primary focus on Deku.
Yeah, the Endeavor focus just started back up again, because Endeavor was actually on the back burner since the hospital chapters.
Exactly. Like,
even on his festive wave.
Dude got put in a pack for like 40 chapters as far as meaningful like focus. And when he was on screen, it was mostly to help navigate a plot for other characters, like him losing his phone to the kids and stuff. That wasn't about him. That was about us getting to Deku.
It's so crazy to me how that really happened.
It really. He just like, he gave up too. He was just like.
And Shoto tried to press him too. He was like, "Oh, you're right, bro. You're right. We gotta fight Toya together."
It's so funny.
I was saying that he don't show up.
It's so funny that now, says disagree, or she not feeling Dobby linking with Endeavor because she know what happens if they finally link up again. But now we know it's fucking happening. Because looking back on Crown of War, that nigga talks like, yo, he couldn't have faced Dobby like this. Now Endeavor got his right mind on him, like, yo, I gotta face this. And Dobby cook us in the back. It's like, you can't get, what would you do? Give Dobby a W over Shoto that Shoto didn't see coming? Then what's the point after that? What does he do after that? Because he can't kill Shoto. So it's like, what does he do?
It can't just be a last, ha, nigga, I'm still here.
Yeah, like it has to be something of substance. Otherwise, you could have just ended it with him going sad. But you chose to have a slow burn comeback and give the subtle hints that it's a comeback. So ain't no point you could have just had him go outside. But it ain't finna be no because you can't kill shoulders. It's like killing the sidekicks don't work. It's be a bullshit.
You know what? You know what might work now? Honestly, like since Prime All for One is back, let's say like he has a solid teleportation quirk, and he sees Endeavor like after he gets healed, he sees Endeavor. He's like, "Oh, thank you, number one. You've helped me. Let me help you." And then he brings Dabi. That'd be cool.
Nah, I would need that for sure. That should be heat. It's just like, all right, bro. It's because at the same time, it's just like, all right, he got to get something of substance. If you wanted him to go outside, you could just had him kill the sidekicks, then Shoto beat him, and that'd be now they go to jail.
Ooh, yo, we gotta wait. We gotta talk about the sleeper battlefield too that you brought up because Toga Battlefield is being slept on.
Bro, it's nobody really realizing what the like. I was rereading that. Like I said, rereading the war. That field has beyond potential just between beyond just those two.
First of all, that field right now has the best use of the normal.
Like the normal are literally causing chaos, water flying everywhere. Like, bro, I was really looking at Toga was in a front of their face. A puddle of water splashed over her and she vanished before their very eyes. Before their very eyes. And she's supposed to be summoning twice in an army of herself.
Oh, and Horikoshi just explained that new tech she got. She really got some hover shits. Like, she got some crazy shit on her.
I was looking at that. That shit was about to stab Ochako like 3 times behind the back in that one encounter. Before she got saved like twice. So it's just like, nigga. They was already gonna have heat on their own, but it's just like everything is surrounding that battlefield. But I even just focus solely on that. That's just like you got Moonfish there, Gang Orca. The normals are going absolute stupid around the field. Niggas ready to sleep on some of these battlefields. I'm telling you, they don't realize the greatness and potential that lies in these fields. Maybe because it's just Ochako and them, but I need him to really like give them true proper hands, like.
I don't want to say it's the women excuse, but I will want to say that it is because the last time we were there, that little head up they had, people were clowning that when they were like talking to each other. I'm like, this is like dialogue, bro.
I mean, it was okay for Toga because she's always been about who she is, type beat, this and other. Ochako, it felt a little bit more off for her. I said, I would think, because it's just like, all right, you Oraka. You never really had like question who you were. Toga was having identity crisis type beat, sort of.
I finally found it. I was looking for this shit talking about her new gear. So her fangs can be changed in the syringes that have hover jet tracking function. They got tracking on them. It was made using Detnerad data. The belt has blood capsule storage cases, blood tank on her back, whatever. So yeah, she got tracking on those hover whatever she got. Those can track people. She literally Doc Ock out here.
Oh, God. Nah, Poison Tree, they really don't have anybody let alone they already having trouble on that field with what they got. The people they have. Toga spam, Sad Woman's Parade, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Nah, I need Aniki to come back. But yo, did you see that redraw from Dabi?
Yeah, that shit was clean.
Oh yes.
So that unfinished page, that was he. The way he escaped that place, that was he. All the volume extras for 35 were honestly he. People can say whatever they want about the cover. Horikoshi himself, he clowned himself for that cover.
But I mean, that's the thing about that is a lot of people were like, bro, this should have been a volume cover. And then they bring in a Mario cover. Oh, he just reusing shit. So it's just like, that nigga's just going to complain regardless because I'll actually rather have this as a volume cover because it sets up the final battle.
He wasted that on Jump. He wasted that on Jump.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, bro, well, this is what you got cooking here. What the fuck cooking for the volume cover, son?
The same thing, except turned around.
The volume cover looks better anyway, so who cares?
Exactly. A Poison Tree. Now, Dabi did like a Jedi in some of them holes. That shit was funny, bro.
Let's see. Oh, you need Fish. I think Fish busy. Fish been busy lately.
I ain't see, man. Tyler, I can link it in a minute in the East Corp because Rue should have all of them. She be having all the fucking volume extras.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, looking at it just now. Oh yeah, yo, Annika, did you read anything about the volume extras?
I did not. What was in the?
All right, so allegedly, when Dobby escaped, well, not allegedly because they said this. So when Dobby escaped the little facility, him and Sunflower Face, they shot the ones. He shot the ones with Sunflower Man, and then after he escaped, Sunflower Man had to burn the whole thing down to keep it concealed.
Wow.
So he did shoot the ones with that buff guy. Like, yeah, you could tell he's put the.
That been crazy to see low key, just like, you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wasn't buff for no reason. He really put kids to sleep for.
AS little. That, but it's funny to talk about Stonefire shit. That got me thinking about Stranger Things. But
also, hold on. I forgot to mention that on Twitter because you had asked me about that. So that idea of him having like a heat stroke and getting like permanent blindness or losing sight in his eyes, I expect Endeavor to lose a lot. So if he loses an eye or loses vision in one of his eyes, I'm here for it. It makes sense. Like monkey paw everything. He can't keep his eyes plural on Toya. He can only have the one now. Doesn't get to have his arm anymore. He's not going to be able to be a proper hero after this. More than like there's a lot that goes into it, you know.
Yeah, one hand. I forgot he had one hand last chapter. That's how true it was.
Oh God, you can't just be walking around the field doing that shit. But S little, you said y'all act like the only heroes there is Gang Orca, Ochiko, and Suyu, Ochiko, and Cyrus. That the only heroes of note that we have seen is them. Gang Orca is already boxed up and matched up against fucking Moonfish. The other niggas can't keep up with that because Gang Orca trying to keep everybody head in the swivel, and everybody else is getting caught up in the shockwave blast that the big ass Nomu word. Two Nomu that are causing entire havoc on the field. I have not seen anybody else that's supposed to be a threat, an actual like hitter that's supposed to show me something because everybody else is caught up with the Nomu and the other convicts. So they're kind of outclassed and outmatched. So I'm not seeing anything that's gonna be like, oh, they kind of stand a chance. No, I'm not seeing anything. I've seen like two of the main characters are caught up with Ochiko fighting her. The other is like Selkie's little sidekick, and then you got Gang Orca. They're already busy fighting convicts. Meanwhile, you got the giant Nomu over there. I don't see anybody that of other note that's supposed to be taking down Nomu that's and changing the entire battlefield and causing chaos. And they can't even jump one of them niggas because the nigga in the fucking sky. Shooting down, causing havoc with his body pieces. So like
he is setting it all off right now.
Yeah, like at least in the Dobby battlefield, like Camino, at least that nigga was on the ground. At least that
I need all the Nomu to move like that one nigga in the sky on Toga battlefield. He is moving tactical.
Right. I told niggas he was sitting on the. I told niggas like, why East keep talking about this dude sitting on the ground? What's so interesting? I'm like, bro, y'all don't understand. These niggas got warped into a new location out the blue. And the first thing they do is just sit on the ground like this. Like he isn't phased in the slightest bit. And then you see why he wasn't phased in the slightest bit, because he caused all the trouble on the battlefield.
Yeah. Like, I need the Nomu. Honestly, bro, I need a good Nomu showcase. I need a whole chapter of just fighting like a Nomu.
I need them to team up. Yeah, exactly. I need them to properly team up and take down a Nomu. Or
like characters that I didn't expect to be able to take out a Nomu, like type shit.
Dead ass team battle.
Yeah.
5v1 type shit.
They should have there should be a Nomu on All For One's field. So once he gets his body back, imagine he just go to that Nomu and just nigga go on top of it. Like we out.
Yeah, Riku should have been
I don't want to talk about Ryuki right now. She disappointed me. She's disappointing me right now.
Bro, whole top 10, just majority of the top 10 been.
Kamui is disappointing me too. He froze last chapter. I forgot to say that. He froze. Dude was like, All For One. Man, you should have comboed him up.
Nah, bro. He knew Endeavor was coming through, bro. He knew what he got murked up by his son. He said, nah, hell nah. All them niggas crazy. He said, bro, all right. He said, I need to get the fuck out of here. Amir Strother said, "Can y'all give y'all hottest take for the results of these fights?" I don't know what he mean by hottest take because we not.
All right, so you want to run through each one? All right, I'm about to go
How
to
does
that.
take?
Wait, let's start off with the Shiggy feel because we hear this chapter.
I'll go first. Ain't no damn tension. Ain't no threat right now. As of right now, ain't no threat. Until I tell you, until I see somebody lose a limb, get crushed and incapacitated, or die, there is no real tension right now. Because like I said, he like to play.
Rerun. It's kind of a rerun of the war too. With
Yeah. It's just like he keep playing around with Shigaraki. It's just like when you going, I know you're gonna have him snap, bro. I'll let you cook, but my patience not there. It's like, all right, it's too much Melvin talking, too much all for one nutsack, too much melding of the niggas trying to figure out who was speaking here. Oh, this looks like a combination of both of them type. Like, nah. You got too much going on with Shigaraki. I'm waiting until you finish playing around with this nigga. That's when I'm gonna get up and shake my ass for that UA Battlefield, UA Sky Fortress. Till then, like, all right, I'm not shaking my ass until you show me that you finished playing.
I basically agree 100%. But I like the art. I like all the hands everywhere. I think it's cool, even though it's tiring on Horikoshi. What I need though is for him to use quirks out of them hands, because you can't just set that up with all for one and not do that. Now the all for one field, I don't know. That field is way better than I expected.
Oh, that was the upset of the century right there.
That's peak right now.
Yeah, like that was the upset of the century. That's Oniki's W, undeniable.
Yeah.
With nobody gassing that field up, you don't know say it's her reasons or whatever. But when nobody goddamn gassing that shit like unlike Oniki.
Look, every single battlefield. Look, my hottest take is probably that the villains will keep losing until Spinner wins. I think that Spinner specifically is going to be a morale point or a focal point for the villains. And I think that while I kind of get why you guys don't feel tension for the Shigaraki battlefield, I also feel like this is the one we're most likely to lose somebody at, just to make that point on the hero side, especially because, that Off One was talking about how he's the ultimate demon lord and, they got to face jobbers or whatever. But I think it makes the most sense for Shiggy to be the first one to have somebody have the job. And to a certain degree, you can argue that Bakugou airing him out like this and the fact that he's going to get back up is Bakugou jobbing. But if we're honest, destroying a bunch of his extra limbs and getting the first clean blow on Shigaraki / Melvin isn't exactly an L either. So it's like, do I want to call it jobbing in this case when he's getting an up close and personal blast that we'll probably see leads to Shigaraki taking some damage, and I'm expecting him to switch his strategy? No, maybe not. Because, like I said, being a giant target against somebody who can just make you go boom is kind of a horrible strategy.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was able to blow away all those pieces of flesh and then get close enough to, it looks like basically Howard's in a point blank range. If I were Shiggy, I'd be switching my approach and probably staying small so that I can run fast enough to hopefully get inside some rubble or something and stop being erased.
Honestly, if I was Shiraki, I would have been unraced already. You only stand on one side of the battlefield, nigga. I got trees, I got buildings. I would have fucking bulldozed shit. If that was me, I'd go into one of those buildings and just go at the bottom floor and start punching my way through everything.
Exactly.
And start stomping on shit. And just like,
he's got the physical strength to do that. I don't know why.
I know it's the plot, whatever, they're trying to listen, that reason. But if it was real life, nigga, that racist shit would not have worked for me, boy. I'd be like, okay, bet. Y'all still can't keep my speed, bitch ass nigga. Boom. We're right into that place where he can't see me around the corner because he can only stay at one angle on one side. When inside the building, that ass would have been punching down the wall, stomping this shit, And by the time y'all come in there, I'll fuck y'all niggas up with a quirk, or just use a big ass blast and shoot through the bottom of that hole. And then I'm gonna get down there where y'all generators at, and I'm gonna fuck everything up. And y'all gonna be like, oh shit, we gotta go. And once y'all got your generators, that shit gonna fall.
Yo, listen, if y'all want another hot take, look, if Prime All for One comes back, then Maki is coming out.
Yeah.
Maki is gonna come out if Prime All for One is back.
Actually, how do y'all think Maki would do against this howitzer combo? Do you think this would be enough to at least make him sit down for a bit?
It might make him fall. It might make him fall over.
What combo? Who's he fighting?
The howitzer combo thing.
Like what Bakugou did.
I'd have to see the scale of it.
Yeah, because
fully, yeah.
Because he doesn't feel pain. It's not that he doesn't actually take the damage, So like,
yeah,
it's like, would it just be like, here's a massive amount of impact that you didn't realize was gonna whoop you the way it did? It did. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how Poison Tree is actually kind of hitting it on the headers. You know how grandiose and dramatic AFO is, but I also think that if you're going through all these steps to becoming a more evolved being, your mind is going to be focused on showcasing that more evolved nature or doing, what you were trying to work on. So I think it's a psychological trap of All for One / Vestige for One hitting this endpoint goal and focusing on the flexibility that comes with having an evolved body, when if he would just take a simple nigga approach, he would actually be in a better position to win this fight.
Bro, if he just went to go hit niggas, it would be no problem because he's stronger than all of them physically. He just needs some right now.
All he needs is one punch and a nigga flying through the goddamn fucking stadium.
The only thing that I'll say that kind of justifies it is if he had slowed down. Let's say he slows down, comes in, manages to take out Mirko. Genus grabs grabs him by the toe, whips him into the damn electric force field again, shorting his muscles out, and then Bakugou gets a clean explosion on him. It could just be, like, to a certain degree, if he was getting a big enough explosion, he could, in theory, juggle him forever. And we could end up getting that played out later, similar to like Final Exam, where he was just trying to blow away All Might repeatedly, and he's just constantly blasting him with the biggest thing possible to keep blasting him back into the force field until Deku gets there. But that's probably that's something that will only last for a little while. So since eventually it will break his arms. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Yep.
I think this can make Maki take a few steps back.
It'll stagger him for sure. It'll stagger him.
Probably.
But like I said, I gotta see the full.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Like I said, we gotta see the full scope. Like A-Gear, Glacier, that gonna make Maki take some steps.
That's
back.
freezing Maki in his tracks.
Yeah, like, that's gonna make like on some fucking some Bleach garage shit.
This is also one of those things that I think doesn't get talked about enough because people like to power scale off raw energy output. But realistically, the howitzer probably will end up with the same blast radius, but it's a different type of damage. Like taking an ice, like a bunch of ice element damage versus taking a combination of heat and impact damage is a little different. Like you might be able to take, an All Might level punch, but if you don't have frost immunity, then Shoto's still one-shotting you. Just like there's people who would do like the Nomu that All Might fought at USJ. If Endeavor came at that thing and was like Vanishing Fist, like it's just gonna get fucked up. It's not gonna. Endeavor would do better against that Nomu than All Might just because his power isn't based off kinetic energy necessarily. Like that's part of what let him combo All for One the way he was, because All for One couldn't be like, I'll do impact recoil. It was just, well, this is a huge cannon of fire basically being thrown at me, and this lower grade fire has to protect me as best as it can.
So what I'll say about this, about the practical one saying, do I think Bakugou gets to show another power up since All Might warned about using equipment too much? What I said was this: I know this isn't Bakugou's big moment. You know what I'm saying? Like when Endeavor got his moment, I knew that was. I see like okay, Endeavor got his moment. I seen where he was coming, seeing how it built up. He had to strive for it. Typical MHA fashion, right? You know what I'm saying? But Bakugou with this, I feel it, but I don't really feel it. You feel me? Like I feel it, but and I don't feel it.
You
Like,
know, because
This ain't edgy. This ain't edgy.
and it's like I feel like I'll know when he meant for the Bakugou's moment to be Bakugou's moment. This just feels like Bakugou is in battle. He's showing off some shit because he ain't showing me a whole new level. Like I already knew Bakugou's about this shit. You know, the cluster moves is different. New him using the new move and the little equipment, but I already knew Bakugou made his whole reversal of his entire personality. Well, not reversal, but you know, acknowledgement of teamwork. He been doing this since joint training type shit. So it's just like when Bakugou's moment really, really comes, like it did in the war, then I'll know that like it's Bakugou's moment right here. Like it'll be a culmination of chapter.
I will say though, for this chapter, like this is like the first time Bakugou's ever thought about that sludge villain incident in a while.
Yeah,
like he hasn't thought about that moment in particular in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? MHA does turn 8 years old in the 7th.
Hope you're ready for. Oh, so that means we probably gonna come back with a color vase to celebrate the anniversary, huh?
You better come back with a color, and it better have the new fit on it too. Color.
Oh God, I wonder what drip we gonna have because he did the Pirates gassed up for no reason in Volume 35. That shit was heat.
Also, because somebody mentioned Bakugou's tech, Bakugou isn't necessarily overly reliant on tech. He can still cluster. He can still do at least a version of howitzer with or without gauntlets. The first time we ever saw it was him just doing it with his palms, no gear. So he still has big moves with or without the gauntlets. He just prefers, I think, to use them because it's a little more controlled. And he has like that setting towards avoiding lethal damage or a huge amount of damage that something can take because of its durability. And it's easier to just have that sweat stockpile. It's partially just him utilizing his quirk to the fullest because the sweat that drips off of his forehead and other places on his body is not going to be ignited or utilized. So having a suit that extracts the sweat just gives him better utilization of what he's got. It's basically like utilizing the full. It's kind of like a mutant quirk that you have to actually get a cup to or something. You actually utilize it properly. You want to look at it that way.
Damn. Really, class 1A from class 1A to 1-4 is really a year old. Damn, time be flying. Amir, what do you mean by the Power Skull got thrown out the window? The Power Skull got thrown out the windows when they show how meaningless air quote quirks can be in vital certain situations. I need you to elaborate what you mean.
I think they mean when you just like look at from the very beginning where Death Arms is physically strong, was capable of like, you know, catching the falling towers and all kind of stuff like that. But the sludge villain showed up and it was like, whoop. I'm gonna just stand around here and whoop. Eventually somebody will come with a better quirk.
Oh yeah, that's the point. That's the kind of benefit. That's kind of a crutch. It's a good thing and a bad thing for MHA. Because it's like you have to look at shit in a vacuum, but in a world where niggas look at shit black and white and like agendas and like slandering, you get caught up. So if you look at circumstances B, right? Redestro's quirk is not a quirk you can use at max power with all your homies around you. If we're in a war, we're fighting in team battle, and my quirk is at AoE, and I'm slinging shit that can fucking knock an entire city block out. But my homie right next to me, and it's a team battle, I can't really use that. Meanwhile, if somebody's coming at me that has a quirk that's built for precision, and that's already like kind of like a counter to me, I'm double counter. And then he was caught off guard and he have his legs. So it's just like, all right, that's a bad matchup as opposed to like just straight up power. Because in MHA, we always go look at matchups to a certain extent. I'm like, oh, well, could this character, the mental matters for the character too. They're smart enough. Like Bakugou, I always got the excuse that Bakugou versus Shoto, Then they would use Bakugou. They were like, all right, well, Shoto got fired, but all right, Bakugou kind of knows how to counter that a little bit. Like he can create a tornado, do the little air shit. Anki probably knows how the scientifics and all that shit works for that. But he got some way to get past that or whatever. But but that's because that's Bakugou. You can't just use that. It's just like you can't look at it at face value. So like Quirk matchups matter a lot of the time. It's like you can have an OP Quirk, but if you go against somebody that counters you, then that's a little bit of a different situation.
In fact, the thing that what you end up scaling for MHA half the time is how many good matchups does this Quirk have. Like Endeavor has a good Quirk. Like what makes a good or a bad Quirk is based off of how many matchups it can run into. So like Hellflame, I'd argue even with its overheating is at least an A to arguably S tier Quirk.
Easy A tier.
Like
half hot, half cold is the S tier.
Yeah.
The obvious shit, if you exclude what burning his ass is
right.
S tier power.
So because it's like if Dobby's body was able to deal with the output like of the fire he has, he would be then yeah, that's 100% an S tier Quirk. Like the
and Endeavor can't be S tier. Like Hellflame can't be S tier off rip because like Endeavor's whole thing was I can make this shit nicer. He did.
I mean, like for example, but I'll also say that Endeavor's perspective of his Quirk is also skewed by the fact that he's comparing it to One for All.
He's trying to be God.
Yeah, so it's like, could his Quirk be S tier without? Because like Overhaul is arguably an A or S tier Quirk too, but we also know that you have to learn how to use it. So do we want to factor in like skill floor? Because skill floor, because like if that's the case, like Hellfire is still pretty damn good because you don't actually need to know how to do flash fire to make Hellfire a good, Quirk in battle.
Bro, Shoto was riding off. Shoto's strength was riding off. He can shoot a bunch of ice and nobody can combat or get through fire until joint training. And even then, Tetsuo was like, I'm gonna have to really knock your ass out with Juzo because I'm reaching my limit and you getting real serious with your fire.
Half hot, half cold. Really, like Phosphor is crazy, y'all.
It really is wild. That's a wild ass shit. Dabi was real. Dabi's real. Like, oh, you just a man for the job, for real,
bro. That is literally Shoto's full power. Like he's half hot, half cold. That's crazy. And the way he can fly too, basically.
Well, yeah. Now that he can actually make a consistent thrust on each side, what I think is kind of funny is that one of the things that I was like, damn, for Shoto, he needs to kind of like put some fire when he's moving quickly. Because like if you notice, I think he always puts his right foot forward, and like when he's doing like the ice travel, and then has his left back, and that's so he can like flame the ice away as he's like traveling. And so now I'm kind of curious, like if he's like floating in the air using two different thrusts, it's like they're going to be a cold patch under his like right foot and the hot patch under his left foot, or is the fire actually the same on both sides? Because it looked like it's like right side is ice fire. So, and the blue flames, he could get those, but I don't think he needs them.
Yeah, he don't need them no more. I think he got phosphorus, and that was always a weird thing about blue flames. Now, in hindsight, it's like, well, he don't really need stronger flames. What he needs to do is learn how to balance both shits and master his techniques. And now that he has a perfect balance, I mean, he can't hold it forever, but still, he has his God mode shit. So he did.
The thing about Shoto really is that it's so crazy because Endeavor wanted him to do that. Like he wanted him to use the ice to boost the fire, but he used the fire to boost the ice. So theoretically, he could still do what Endeavor wanted him to do.
I told you, I want to see this man pull out some hot ice.
Yeah, ultimately, like he could make some blue flames, like if he wanted to. The potential for that Quirk is just nutty right now.
Because I'm genuinely curious, because like the fact that he can like cycle the blood on each side, I want to know, like, can he manifest like his ice, or like can he at least like shoot gouts of steam now or something, just to like look. It's just a lot that goes into the way his Quirk works. Look, if you can make cold fire, then I want to know if you can make hot ice. It's now on the table. Stop acting like I'm crazy for thinking of this.
Yeah, isn't that what a comet basically is?
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
where does his powers of rule bending end? We don't know. All right. I feel like this chapter being 13 pages and purposely taking us away from AFO makes this a good place to end this stream, because we basically just transitioned to the start of a new battlefield without getting the actual conclusion to the previous one, which I will say is also a red flag on that battlefield, because if All For One was going to just die, we would be like, all right, let's finish it out.
Hold on. Y'all want to extend the stream for like a good 15 more minutes real quick?
What's up?
So we've been debating this shit too, and like the server, and I meant to do this shit last week, but I think I forgot. Somebody made a current top 10 or what they got as their top 10 as far as strength goes. So y'all want to run that real quick? Because them niggas, we was really having a real debate.
Talking about that tier list on Twitter.
Yeah, no. Somebody that had like their top 10 strongest.
I seen that too, and one thing that would really interested me was that they had second form overhaul in the top 10. And I was like, nah, that form is really strong, actually.
It took Deku 100% to really bang with a nigga, and it took him a couple of hits.
That was final form. The second form, I feel like, is low-key stronger than the final form because he had more mobility.
And it kind of turns into the same issue that we're seeing here, where it's like, but was that actually the best move for you?
Yeah, he turned into a kaiju, and then Deku started.
Man. Or would y'all rather talk about Quirk potential real quick? Because I had a dream the other day, and then I was thinking about something. I was rereading, right, and I was thinking about like Hawks, and like I was looking at how cool the fucking panels are for that bitch ass nigga, and I'm like, this nigga going his blades, moving his shit, and I was like, yo, he was really putting in work this entire thing. But I was like, he got one weekend which is fire. So I was thinking, but in my dream, it was a fusion. It was like how Engie was flying. It was a young Engie, but he had wings of Hawks, but the fire at the same time. So I was like, so what if he had like black feathers, but like the flames too with his blades? So that would be like damn near nigh unstoppable.
That goes into what we were talking about with the Fuyumi, like if him and Fuyumi actually ended up dating. Because like the thing about that is that, let's say you get another lottery combo, because Quirk, like we've talked about, even though like people didn't catch, like, and I'm still disappointed that the fandom didn't talk about that a lot. I feel like I was like the only place, this channel was like the only place where we talked about the way that the Quirk shook out to be like the perfect combo for his parents, and now he's like the Shoto for his family in that sense. But whatever, it's cool. This fandom is totally very analytical and not at all just misses things all the time and then gets mad about it.
Maybe that's why we in here 5-10K, because we ain't talking dumb shit. I mean, what? You were saying something, bro?
Anyway, with Hawks though, and like that combo, the idea of him having like ice feathers, the idea of him doing like the flame thing, him having half cold, half hot wings, like we are like one generation away from some absolutely insane quirks.
But I mean, you seen what happened at fucking Remedial Course? Shit, right. nigga, that bullet billboard almost bit off Bakugou face.
Yeah.
Think about like, really, I think that's a more interesting combination or conversation, just because like with the way the story has gone, some quirks, it's like for example, Dark Shadow is a quirk that could have more potential, but they're fighting off one during the day. So what is? Sorry, Tokoyami, we never gonna see DQ.
Yo, I'm thinking of like a top 10 off the top of my head, just like for fun. Right now, I got Endeavor at number 5. Is that out of pocket?
No. Because
I got Shigaraki number 1, Prime All Might 2, Prime All For One 3. Right now, I got Deku 4. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Oh, then Endeavor got to be number 6.
Yeah, right.
Because a star.
Oh, you're right. I don't know if he was counting.
See me, I never count. I never want to count Prime All Might or Off One because they like enigmas, outliers, and they ain't here.
Like we know, because you could argue that Prime Shiggy also. Well, no, because like I think that if Endeavor fought Makia the way he was fighting All For One,
he could take it to Makia now. After seeing last chapter, I think they can fight right now.
That's why I'm like, nah, like if that happened.
He was about to run it with him in the war. He was like, nah, I need to handle this beast. Like, I need to figure out his abilities and counter back. Like, he was working with it.
Yeah, but then we all know what happened after that nigga.
Yeah.
That was Endeavor
See,
at his best right there.
I
Mentally
have Star over Endeavor just off of moves like fist bump to the earth.
Bro, she built different. So like
Literally.
bro, she was like, I'm gonna crush this nigga into atoms. Made a Sasano 1,000 foot tall. You know how tall 1,000 feet on this? And was like,
She went,
bing.
She gave him the hand of God.
Like, she was finna Dougie on that nigga.
I think the craziest part about that entire thing was Horikoshi was real like meta with it. Cause you know how we can see shit or feel shit, like, but niggas can't see it. like if we like JoJo, for example, like if niggas was fighting with stands, we can see the stands through the anime. Niggas in real life wouldn't know what the fuck is happening because they can't see stands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that fight, it was a meta thing that was so little. I don't think anybody really like caught it. Nobody else can see Star's quirk but Star.
Yeah, no.
And it was like, he was like, I sent something. I got a bad feeling. I can't see anything, but I have a bad feeling about this thing. And it was right before she like punched that nigga and he clapped his ass. And I was like, oh.
No, it was straight up stated, like, I got a bad feeling about this. And that's why it was drawn the way it was drawn too. Because like a lot of times series will over detail like the stand, and that'll make it where it's like, oh yeah, this is visible. And like, no, they made it very clear that it was just air that could not be seen that was whooping ass.
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Oh.
Damn.
Imagination is the power. Anyway.
And breathing.
Like, because the thing is that Star's move where she was like, the air does not exist 100 meters in front of this place, will one-shot most creatures.
Oh, dude.
One of the things that you have to look at is if you look at when Melvin is falling and you look at his eyes, they're immediately really bloodshot. You can't actually see his pupils, and that's because the instant change in fluid pressure caused his eyes to explode.
And then like, well, you can't go too deep in the ocean too, because that shit will crush your fucking.
Crush you.
And just like when you go diving, you have to come up at a certain speed, or you get what's called the bends. Yeah, same thing could apply. So like if you go too low and then you come up too fast, you end up losing. Like you end up having like this crazy ass pressure. So when she can make these vacuums casually, she can basically be like the air. All air leave Chicago. Whoop.
That ass. And it's like a poison tree. They did outsmart her, but at the same time, she wasn't being too arrogant. Because when she was like, yo, air ceases this in front of me 100 feet, and she was like, oh, good, you got it. And he's like, nah, that's not enough to that nigga out. Even then, when they did the whole Chronos laser beam, and it was like, nah, this ain't enough to take him out either. If it wasn't, Dev would have did it. Keep that shit on him. She's like, yo, we use him last resort, like this right here. She really got caught off guard. I don't think she was being arrogant at truly like any point. I think she was really she showed her experience, her Americanism to get that shit done. None of that pussy shit. She was in there to kill a nigga, get the job done. And then even with the nukes and shit, they just didn't see the Melvin thing coming. They had no idea how that was going to play out.
His heart stopper wasn't going to kill him anyway, in my opinion.
You're gonna need to pop that nigga through the head.
Actually, I take that back. So it depends on how the rule works, because you could argue that if the rule is, because the rule is something that she just like sets on something, then it could be that his heart wouldn't be able to start again until she switched her rule.
That would have been like KO. It's gone until I say it's gone.
So at that point, then his brain would have just gone into an actual state of like death, and he would have started dying. Her biggest issue was trying to directly create a rule for him instead of just like, because she like could kind of keep up with hand-to-hand combat. She was able to like kind of get that one shot in, and he wasn't feeling. It wasn't like he was like, oh, that punch wasn't nothing. He was like, oh, that locked me a little loose. So
that's funny.
Like if she had done that and then like been just like focused on just whooping his ass with brute strength, it probably would have been better. Like if she had just kept clapping that nigga repeatedly in the air, just
right.
Like we can do this all day, bro. Like
Wait, all right, then. So, we got Endeavor, Cassie, either interchangeable depending on how you view it. Then we got Maki under them. Now, what normal would y'all put on the list? So USJ or Hood? What normal would y'all put?
Hood.
I give it Hood
Yeah.
because if they box,
Hood
I
has
got
better flexibility in matchups.
exactly. I can give it because it's almost like elder Tagoro and younger Tagoro, where like younger Tagoro had like complete just like brute strength and overwhelming power. Elder Tagoro had like some sneaky tactics in there type shit. So it's just like he can maneuver around because of their brain, their weakness, and they both know this, right? He just has like she has that strength, but Hood has a regeneration too to get out that strength, and he has the ability to keep maneuvering his head or dodging around. He has a combat to kind of keep up with that nigga too. So it's like
The intelligence he had was really good too.
I
yeah.
was
So
just gonna say, like, he was able to like change his tactics on hand. So it's like, okay, you already have a one-upsman besides I'm gonna punch you.
and plus he got combat experience. He's one of ring fighters, like an underground fighting club. So he got like that on.
Like one of the things that I loved was him being like, let's see, you're still moving. Do you have regeneration? Maybe not. Da 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 da. Let's see. Well, now's the perfect time to attack. So yeah, no, I would definitely put Hood above.
Yeah, he not only does he have the brain of his old self from when he used to be in underground fighting clubs, he also fought Miracle, Old Clock, and Rappa.
Yeah.
Well, that would be like number 8 then, Hood. So then we got 2 spots left. This is probably where we just gonna start saying completely different characters, but we all got 9, 10. Bottom of the top 10.
Where we Destro at?
Redestro,
See, Redestro's weird to scale now because of his legs.
yeah. Prime Redestro would have probably been before Hood. Because I don't think he can beat Mafia.
I'm surprised people. I'm surprised more people don't think Redestro can bang out with Endeavor.
Redestro's kind of weird because
I used to think that back in the day until Endeavor started getting nicer.
So
but they could fight for real. They could fight.
It would come down to if Redestro, because like you notice, like Decay didn't immediately break through his flesh, so I won't say that he would instantly get cooked if he got hit by any fire attacks. But
y'all don't think Redestro got any like shield attacks? Maybe.
My thing is that Burden is actually never shown at peak potential.
That's what I'm saying, because it's like he was knocking out city blocks, but it wasn't even his full like attack. It's like it was getting halved in power. You feel me? So it's just like, well, you never really, and he had shown he has different techniques because no Redestro doesn't need his gear to be OD. He was knocking out city blocks without claustro.
Also, this cycles back to what we talked about with matchups and like information being important, because if somebody told you Redestro's quirk was stress, and first off, never forget that part of the origin of this channel was me accurately explaining what Redestro's quirk was before it was revealed. But 2, if you think about like his quirk being converting stress into power, a lot of people are just going to stop at that physical modification. Him being able to basically turn that stress into blobs of dark energy and whipping it at people is not something most people would have accounted for. Therefore, then to have somebody be like, so that blob of energy, I'm going to touch it. And it's actually going to get decayed.
Yeah, and it's like, even in the war, he was showing like new techniques. Like Decay was like, the stress was flying off his body as like almost like how All For One shooting those little moon blast earlier at Endeavor. That's kind of how it was doing with All For One. Like Redestro.
It really don't feel right. It really don't feel right ranking Redestro no more because he got beat by Edshot, and I'm like, Edshot not in the top 10.
But like I said, it's one of those things with MHA where he was at a hard counter press. He can't really fight like that all out to his true max. It's a half, and then it's like, and Edshot is built for precision. Meanwhile, Redestro is built for like combat, big blast, AOE type shit. But it's like Headshot can speed around and this, that, and other. He don't got to worry about hitting his eyes. More like reduce, so he's at a hindrance. It's like you can't really fight next to Endeavor or Makia.
And getting burned is pretty stressful. So that would make him stronger too if they were to fight.
Yeah, so like that he and shit, Colostro literally has syringes that dig into his skin and create tons of pressure onto his body. So he not no sucker or no newbie to pain. Not a second burn is a different type of pain, but still, that just goes to show he has a high pain tolerance too. Because they literally the extras from Colostro really show that entire suit sticks points into his body like actual like holes into his body to cause more stress for him.
It hits the pressure points.
Yeah, so like that's even like that nigga different. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like, well, you give a nigga the right circumstances and he got the flex properly. That's why I said this whole Quirk matchup thing is a crux. It's a good thing and a bad thing because at the same time it's like, well, we talk like Yaiba or some other series, you just be like, all right, this nigga just stronger than this nigga, but this nigga technique nice, simple, right? When MHA is like, well, this combats this, and we see him use his full potential because of this and this, that, and the other. You see?
Yeah, that's why I'm not really into the whole like power scaling and MHA. Like I'll power scale, but it's not my main tag. But Dobby needs to be on the top 10 too, though. This last one, Dobby definitely needs to. Dobby going all out.
That's what makes it so weird. Is like a lot of people have crazy moves that it's like, yo, dog, that's lethal. Like,
then,
for example, let's take Deku and Bakugou could both fight Dobby, but for different reasons. And they'd have to stay completely out of physical contact with him to make it work. Showed Bakugou because all that heat would just make him sweat, and eventually he'd just make a really big explosion. And Dobby's fast, but he's not durable, so that big ass explosion just being a big AoE that smacks him is gonna make him have an issue. Deku was just gonna blow away a lot of the fire using high percentage smashes. Similar results, but like it's at the same time though.
How
like,
would smoke screen react to fire?
But at the same time, I also think that Deku, Bakugou, Dobby, and like everybody that we picked in the top 10 have a lot of really good matchups. So
typically, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I would almost rather, like if we were ever gonna really sit down and do like a power scaling stream for MHA, I'd almost rather do like a tiering where it's like instead of trying to like go top 10, we go like S, A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
That'd be way easier because when it gets to this, it's like, all right, if I want to, I could throw Geaton at the bottom point of 10. And it's like, well, if you just put him, he was really nice with it. He has as much firepower as Shoto.
He's a B tier. He's a high B tier.
I really give him A tier because if we really think like he has hand too because he pulled up with ice paws. He can summon dragons and all types of shit. He was banging with Dobby. So it's like I could put him a good A tier, high A tier at the bottom level of top 10. It's like, well, if you give him the right specs, he can do what he need to do.
Yeah, if we did do a tier list like that, then we'd have to give All Might and them niggas their own tier. Like
Prime All Might and Prime Off One and Shigaraki, they stay over somewhere else. They stay over elsewhere. They don't even need to be on the list.
They're in their own little room, just enjoying themselves.
Exactly.
The special room.
So let's get these final thoughts going off now. Let's go with walk-ins. Final thoughts on the chapter for this week.
It was pretty good. Kind of short, but we already kind of talked about that, and a lot of action, and just reminding us of the great character work that Bakugou has. We're moving to another field of battle, so it's just like, okay, this is where we left them off at, and I don't know. It was really good. Just really short, but I understand why. Bakugou going crazy. I love this design with like all that crap on his shoulders and all that. God, I love it.
Just fully loaded Bakugo. Like,
Mhm. Also just kind of checking in with everybody, just again, just showing, hey, even if people aren't fighting, they have a reason and they have a purpose and they're doing what they can to finish this job. Like that, and I think that's just one thing that people need to just kind of realize, like, oh, not every character has to have like a big battle. Like, I
yeah,
mean, we see Momo here just sweating her ass off trying to keep everything intact. We have Kaminari trying to keep his brain cells from frying to power up the damn thing. Like everybody's doing their part that, inevitably, hopefully, for their sakes, lands them a W and gets them that win that they kind of need right now. Because if they go down, Shigaraki's killing everybody. Oh, and I guess I don't know if we really talked much about it. Well, yeah, we did with like Melvin's little speech and all that.
yeah.
I mean, cool. Again, that's kind of like a mix of All for One and Shigaraki, but yeah, I'll just have to wait for the confrontation with Deku. But overall, again, very, very nice chapter as always. Sad we got like a 2-week break, which
Yeah.
kind of sucks, but Ori, take your rest, give us a banger when you come back, and we'll be here. We'll be here. I'm done.
All right. Tarnish.
Solid chapter, solid chapter. I like the art and the combat, but I'm really just waiting for somebody to get clapped, like for real, like because if Shigaraki's supposed to be a god and they trapped with him, it ain't the other way around. Like he not trapped with them, they trapped with him. And, I like what Bakugo's doing though. I like the technology aspect because he kind of started off on this whole if my power is not enough, then I'm not enough thing. So now he's working with other people, getting different technology, improving himself. I like his speech that, he's met people that move on and he's willing to move on. He's the perfect character to say fuck you to that speech that Shigaraki just had. And you know what I'm saying? That was some good stuff. But with what we just got with Endeavor, I'm just like, this is hitting Bakugo, but you've been put to the side in terms of the old asshole character. Like
Yeah.
that's Enji now to me. So when Bakugo gets moments like this, it's like, yeah, you used to be an asshole, but that kind of stopped pretty early. But it's still always good to get callbacks to it because, like I said, we haven't seen that sludge villain flashback in a long time. So to see that moment again, what started all of it is really good. This cluster, how it's an impact, that's his ultimate move. It's been his ultimate move in the movies. We're about to see the strongest version of it, supposedly. So I hope it's like a good spectacle, but at the same time, it can't really do too much to Shigaraki because it's like, well, Deku needs to be the one to fight him. So this is just, this is just to hold him off for now. But we'll see what happens. Honestly, like, what will fix all of this for me is somebody getting clapped. It might sound bloodthirsty, but like I need some tension at this field. Like I need to feel like Toga ruined everything by taking Deku away and that we losing people because of it. I need that pain. I don't got that pain right now. I feel like they playing like hot potato with Shigaraki. But I love the art this chapter though. Whenever Horikoshi draws those hands, I don't know why he does it to himself. I think he said it recently, like that he was looking at that shit in the volume and he was like, wow. Like, cause that is ridiculous. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how long he's gonna keep doing it either. Because I think the last time he did a hand chapter like this, it was dead ass 13 pages too. So I really think that might be the thing that's keeping these chapters short. In terms of the UA battlefield, it really might be the hands. But he needs to start just showing these quirks that he wouldn't have to do all that. But we'll see. Solid chapter. I'm really sad about the break. But when we come back, it should be lit. It should be lit. It should be some good art, some good action. Hopefully the plot progresses forward. We'll be in the promised land.
All right. Archbishop East.
All right, so go ahead and take it home, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so it's like a Tarnish said, like great chapter, but this is the thing about it too. I'm tired of the Horikoshi like pussyfoot and like joke around Nerf and like hee hee ha ha with Shigaraki and shit like that. So it's just like So Shigaraki and shit like that. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna wait until you stop playing around. Let you cook. I got faith, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You taking a long ass time with this shit, nigga. I really getting tired. I keep gotta see this Melvin bullshit. Shigaraki even having his cleanness and his W. I need to see him really fully take somebody out and be Shigaraki. I don't want to be Melvin or having to decipher, oh my gosh, which one of them did that? No. To dead this shit and have somebody die. And I need to feel tension that, okay, they're like on Matrix, like, okay, Deku need to get here right now. Save these niggas, please. Right now, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling no tension. I'm unmoved. I'm like, all right, cool. Nice art. Whatever with the hands. But when somebody get clapped, they never got to die. Just get clapped, incapacitate from the fight. Then I'm be like, okay, now it's like, all right, now I feel tension. Now we back with it. Now it's doing something. So, but it's funny enough. I think Horikoshi realized this again because he has a bad habit of doing this shit where he fucking just draws some shit that he shouldn't draw. And then he don't realize, oh, this is going to take me a whole bunch of time to do all this. Because if you look at the panels, you got, look at all this fucking detail, bro. Why?
Oh,
He
no,
did it
like
to you.
the amount of detail that's like randomly in the eyes and all kinds of stuff like that. It's like, dog, I appreciate how hard you went, but that
It's completely unnecessary and unneeded, whatever.
like you might have had a couple more pages out of this if you hadn't done that.
That's the shit that his editor need to be telling him not to get this shit trending every week.
Like, and I get it, right? You want to like do your best, like drop your like and like give it your all, but it's like, yo, Hori, take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Hero Fest is supposed to happen too, so we should have a lot of
Inside scoops about truth, about a lot of answers about a lot of things. And I'm gonna tell you, we already know, like I said, nobody need to die right now. But you gotta show tension. Get somebody clap real quick, incapacitate them. It's all them. But okay, now the tension is back, the tension is here. I feel like, all right, now I'm stressed, now I'm worried for everybody's safety, this, that, and other. That's all you gotta do. Like, real talk. And Mina not all screen a Gasman's guy. Matter of fact, I feel like Gasman's guy not only, I feel like Gasman's guy opening chapter, it really needs to be like him opening backstory, getting his entire thing. Like, I really feel like he's part of the military and government, the way he operating, the way he like is dressed, just everything. And you know what I think is just moving. He had a rumble background in him the entire time. He was just sitting there talking like he about the shits. He one of the people that's about the shits too. I can't wait to see a lot of these niggas start flexing and shit like that. But I'll say this now too. I think Horikoshi realized something about the hands, and he's gonna take the hands away because he was like, the more often Quirk takes root within me, the more my body adapts to the legion of stockpile quirks within, along with the various environmental factors. My body is searching, groping around for its ideal form. And then since the fact that you combine that with the fact that he's not at 100%, it's just like, okay, I think in this situation is just like, all right, yeah, I think it's gonna come around. When he hit 100%, it's gonna find his like true form type thing. And he's gonna have a little transformation, whatever. Nothing too crazy. It's gonna be Shigaraki, and we'll get that nutsack out of here or whatever. And then it'll wrap around. But until then, we waiting, ready for some action. Get these hands out of here. They cool, but they creepy. Let's start boxing some niggas. Proud of Bakugou for doing this moment, but I know it's not his moment. But growth is always good. Great chapter so far. Like I told y'all niggas before, I told y'all for a week straight, I knew this nigga gonna be a fucking break, because then nigga always do this shit at the Gege because they best friends, and I don't know what they be doing. But I swear to God, he gonna be like, oh, me and Gege went to see a movie this week. Some bullshit like that. Or some shit like that. But yeah, man. Phenomenal chapter. It was a great time. I can't wait to see much more. I'm just excited to get some other places too and work around. But like I said, only reason I'm okay with this stalling and the cliffhanger not coming back to Deku is because I feel like this is just all the built tension here. So then we cut back and Deku gets stalled for whatever reason. It's like, all right, now I can feel the tension. Now I can feel the stress. Like somebody might actually die type shit. So love and appreciate y'all for coming through as per usual. All right, we'll catch y'all the week after next. Y'all be safe until then. You already know what team it is. Undefeated of the East, baby. What it do? Appreciate y'all for coming by.
All right, y'all. That's gonna be it for the Church of MHA today. I will go ahead and hopefully within these 2 weeks actually utilize that to do some editing and get some stuff done. But I will also try to go ahead and do a review for this one. I'm not going to promise you that it's going to be rushed out because I recorded the last review, started editing it. My computer had some updates and I ended up not finishing it this last week. But I'm going to go ahead and get both of those out because thankfully this chapter being different means that video can exist without being outdated by this one. And it'll still actually have some value for you. So make sure you check the community tab for that later or sometime during these next 2 weeks. And I will try to give you guys something special just to make up for all the issues. So yeah, drop them hail Hories. We're going to be out. Really excited to see what we get when we come back. And that's all I really got to say.